I see and read about that you photographed inside a city space, and you're kind of like getting back in the swing of things with Lightroom and Photoshop and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. I recognize some of these places, and I see like I saw, somewhere it looks like it said Tempe, yeah, Tempe Center for the Arts, and I recognize so many of these places, and I probably pass by them regularly. Um, but yeah, you have some like really great compositions and some really interesting things going on. I really dig, this is like good, nice, like a shallow depth of field, and this is, point of focus. And I like this sign. Makes me, I wonder what's going on. Looks like window washers, or who knows what they're doing. Some sort of building work, obviously. But yeah, I'm curious to know more about it, and who else is there, who's working there, that kind of thing. This is for me maybe one of the strongest compositionally like of the photographs. I just love the sign. I love the black and white, the texture, the everything about it. I respond strongly to this photograph. Just the way the shape is and the bend, and just your angle of it's just really great. And these signs are really nice also. Yeah, I can't complain about them. I don't know. Yeah, I can't. No complaints. They're good. This is interesting too. I do like how this is so, hot here. You can really tell. This is Arizona. It can sometimes be miserably bright and blindingly bright. You did a good job keeping the sky in there. Also, looks like a little bit of a cloudy day. And it's an interesting composition. It definitely moves up, and I would like to just like spend time looking at each individual little place, being it's almost voyeuristic in a way. Um, and some of these start to remind me just a little bit of someone called Eugene Auger, and then there's also geez, Walker Evans is someone else to consider looking at. Both of those people photographed like exterior buildings. Eugene Auger was a French photographer and spent his whole lifetime photographing Paris. And a huge collection of his work is pretty amazing. So take a look at them. These are interesting. It's good repetition of pattern, and it's good compositionally. You have some interesting things going on compositionally for sure. This looks like maybe like one of the, I'm not sure, like the watchtower or the lookout tower at the airport, which makes me think of a lot of surveillance and the kind of state of security or the whole country's in right now, whole world is in right now. Yeah. And, there's interesting again composition. You'd get a little bit maybe blown out here or there, but it's not too bad. It all kind of works overall. Um, yeah. Again, these are interesting. Also, your compositions are strong. I really like this vantage point. It's really interesting. It looks like you're really high up looking down, and that's just it's a great quality. And it reminds me a lot of a photographer named Andrei Kartesh, who photographed in New York. He photographed around Europe and in Paris, a lot in Paris, and a lot of times he photographed from like high up on rooftops and from his high-rise apartment in New York. And this is good too. It's good strong lines, and I enjoy the plants coming in, the palm fronds coming in there. This I wish were sharp. I wish this was like really sharp. I like it though, because how often do you see these kind of telephones anymore? You don't see too many of them. And this, this is interesting, except I don't care for the selective coloring. I get why you do it, and it is interesting. It is fun to experiment with those kind of things, and Photoshop for sure. I definitely did a lot of experimenting with that kind of thing. Um, but I think that your compositions are strong enough, and the light and the exposure is strong enough that you don't need these kind of details. So I wouldn't rely on those kind of things. Your pictures are good enough without them. This is interesting. It makes me, wonder what it is. But kind of beyond that, it has okay qualities with light. It's not your strongest, but I kind of enjoy it that it's a closer up and a detail shot when compared to the other ones. And this is awesome. I love the sign. I kind of like both of your sign pictures. This is real stark, has great contrast, and looks really sharp. Um, but it's a good scratch the surface, like a project of the city. Um, and again, like I encourage you to look at the photograph of the photographers that I mentioned, Walker Evans and Eugene Auger. Um, but maybe sometimes include your reflection or you're in shadow. Um, and people, maybe include people. Like it'd be kind of interesting right now, just like where's this person? You can see what was or what's happening, but it's okay to put people in your photographs. Um, maybe there's someone walking by or through this sign that kind of like activates the space a little bit more uh, to make it a little bit more lively. Just small interactions like that can go a long way. So yeah, I appreciate your vantage points and kind of push for those people and those other kind of things that those other qualities that I mentioned throughout the kind of shortcut here. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to email me, and I look forward to seeing what you do next time around.